pull up those thoughts that you have about those money blocks to the front of your mind. Because as we're tapping through this, no matter what your blocks are, I want you to keep your focus on those. Do you have any personal areas here that you want to share, or anything that you experience when you think about money blocks, Wendy?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have an upper limit that I've been able to surpass. So I have had progress with money blocks because I remember a distinct memory of when my dad, he was an entrepreneur. He has always been an entrepreneur. He still is. And he was running a business at the time. And I was 12 years old, 11 or 12. And I remember one night he said, we're going to celebrate tonight because I've made my first 100,000 in my business. And that was very significant back in that day. And so that anchored the idea in my mind, I can make $100,000 in a business. It anchored that in my mind. So I actually surpassed that in my career in corporate. And then when I came into my business, I've far surpassed that. I've doubled whatever, but I have still an upper limit in that range. I'm not a millionaire, right? Or I have made millions in my business in total.
Sure.
But looking at I'm not making $1 million a year type of thing. I'm curious about that.
Right. Yeah. That's awesome that you notice that and that you understand where the block came from. That's half the battle. Sometimes you're trying to figure it out and you don't even know where or why this thing is happening for you. But yeah, that's awesome. So you've made some awesome progress with that. And you can kind of keep that upper limit in mind as we're tapping also. And I encourage anybody else to do the same. So what we're going to do, I'm going to walk you through the tapping. I'm going to have you kind of repeat after me as we do it. We start, and I'll just run you through the points real quick. We start on the side of the hand. It's called the karate chop point. It's really good for any places where our energy is kind of not running in the right direction. We're a little psychologically reversed, that kind of thing, which
doesn't matter which hand.
Doesn't make any difference. I was going to say you can tap one or the other, switch it up.
Okay.
And then we're going to go to the top of the head.
Yeah.
And kind of back at the crown of the head area. And then we're going to go to the eyebrow point, right on where the hair on your eyebrow begins near your nose. The outside of the eye, we're basically following that eye bone, the socket around. We're not actually tapping on our eye or our eyeball, just below it. Then we're going to go under the nose. We're going to go under the mouth, kind of in that cleft area where our chin is. And then our collarbone, which isn't actually the bone, it's below the bone. And that's right here. And then we're going to go to under the arm, which for us ladies is pretty much where the bra strap goes around your body if you're wearing one. So those are the points. We're going to go through those a few times, and I'm just going to have you repeat after me. And again, just keep whatever your issue is front and center in your mind. For those of you who are doing this at home, if you feel better changing the words to be more accurate for you, feel free. EFT really likes specificity. So the more specific you can get about what you're dealing with, the more of a chance you have in this kind of energetic overhaul to release it. So feel free to get more specific or to, watch it again, listen to it again, and do it along with us. So yeah, we're just going to start at the side of the hand. And I'm going to start now, and you'll just repeat after me. Even though I have all these beliefs about money that don't serve me.
Even though I have all these beliefs about money that don't serve me.
I want to love, accept, and forgive myself.
I want to love, accept, and forgive myself.
Even though I keep standing in the flow of my money.
Even though I keep standing in the flow of my money.
And blocking it from coming to me.
And blocking it from coming to me.
I honor these feelings.
I honor these feelings.
And accept myself anyway.
And accept myself anyway.
Even though these beliefs go deep.
Even though these beliefs go deep.
Many of them were formed when I was so young and easily influenced.
Many of these were formed when I was so young and easily influenced.
I want to love, accept, and forgive myself.
I want to love, accept, and forgive myself.
And anyone who contributed to these beliefs.
And anyone who's contributed to these beliefs.
All these money blocks.
All these money blocks.
My relationship with money isn't the best.
My relationship with money isn't the best.
It's downright dysfunctional sometimes.
It's downright dysfunctional sometimes.
I love it. I hate it.
I love it. I hate it.
I block it. I allow it.
I block it. I allow it.
I invite it. I disrespect it.
I invite it. I disrespect it.
I've created a cycle that doesn't serve me at all.
I've created a cycle that doesn't serve me at all.
And so much of this negative programming,
And so much of this negative programming,
I simply absorbed when I was little.
I simply absorbed when I was little.
But I can see it now.
But I can see it now.
And I can see all these false beliefs.
And I can see all these false beliefs.
Things that I accepted as the truth for so long.
Things that I accepted as a truth for so long.
I can see the way that they're holding me back.
I can see the way they're holding me back.
And I'm ready for new and more abundant beliefs.
And I'm ready for new and more abundant beliefs.
Releasing and letting go.
Releasing and letting go.
The lack, the scarcity.
The lack, the scarcity.
The feeling that someone else will go without if I get the money.
The feeling that someone else will go without if I get the money.
The feeling that wanting abundance is greedy.
The feeling that wanting abundance is greedy.
I block money in ways I don't even realize.
I block money in ways I don't even realize.
I restrict it. I prevent it.
I restrict it. I prevent it.
And now I'm clearing this down to a cellular level.
And now I'm clearing this down to a cellular level.
Those ideas that I can't afford things.
Those ideas that I can't afford things.
The idea that I shouldn't ask for abundance.
The idea that I shouldn't ask for abundance.
The idea that money causes problems.
The idea that money causes problems.
It's dirty.
It's dirty.
Or I'll probably lose it.
I'll probably lose it.
It's safe to release these blocks and let them go.
It's safe to release these blocks and let them go.
Allowing more money to flow into my life.
Allowing more money to flow into my life.
Open to the idea that I'm worthy.
Open to the idea that I'm worthy.
Paying close attention to my body.
Paying close attention to my body.
To make sure that idea feels safe.
To make sure that that idea feels safe.
I can work on these ideas until they do feel safe.
I can work on these ideas until they do feel safe.
I can work on myself so that I can create better beliefs.
I can work on myself so I can create better beliefs.
Better habits and responses.
Better habits and responses.
I'm capable of creating a great relationship with money.
I am capable of creating a great relationship with money.
As I examine, clean up, and tap
So I examine, clean up, and tap
on my specific memories, beliefs, and false assumptions.
on my specific memories, beliefs, and false assumptions.
It's safe for me to allow money to flow into my life.
It's safe for me to allow money to flow into my life.
It's even safe for me to allow money to flow out of my life.
It's even safe for me to allow money to flow out of my life.
I can create an abundant circulation.
I can create an abundant circulation.
More in the now.
More in the now.
Releasing the need for any of it to be difficult.
Releasing the need for any of it to be difficult.
It's safe to allow money to come to me with ease.
It's safe to allow money to come to me with ease.
I am able, willing, and worthy of this shift.
I am able, willing, and worthy of this shift.
And so grateful for all the money that flows to me.
And so grateful for all the money that flows to me.
Opening up with appreciation to my inherent abundance.
Opening up to my appreciation for my inherent abundance.
Wealth and riches.
Wealth and riches.
Now we're going to tap on the fingers. It's just that we're going to go through the sides. With love.
With love.
Integrity.
Integrity.
Soulful intention.
Soulful intention.
And deliberate commitment.
And deliberate commitment.
I now forgive myself.
I now forgive myself.
And anyone else who may have contributed to these beliefs.
And anyone else who may have contributed to these beliefs.
And I call my power back into my body.
And I call my power back into my body.
I am whole, abundant, and prosperous.
I am whole, abundant, and prosperous.
Just tap on the back of your hand between your ring finger and your pinky finger. And just take a nice deep breath, Wendy. In through your nose and out through your mouth. How did that feel for you?
Really good. Really
Good.
good. Very interesting to hear you speak the words. And I even felt a little resistance come up
Yeah.
in the beginning because I feel like I have a good relationship with money. And there was initially some, talk about not having a good relationship with money or something like that.
Yeah.
But there's always room for a better relationship with anybody, person, and money, and anything we interact with in our lives. There's always room for improvement. So I started to see, okay, yeah, it's not all perfect. I do have some things there underground that could be worked on.
There was one thing that I forgot to mention at the beginning, and that is that I normally like to assess how much you're feeling about the money or the money blocks. But in this case, sometimes it's hard to tell the shift, but normally I would have you rate on a 0 to 10, how much you're feeling about that money block. And then again, at the end. So it's unfair to ask you how much you've shifted. But for those of you who are doing this, if you do it again, or if you haven't done it yet and you do it later, take a piece of paper, write down your number. And you'll definitely have some kind of a shift. How much depends on the person and what your actual blocks are. But oftentimes you'll forget what your number is if you don't write it down, or you'll discredit yourself for how much progress you made and how much power you really did call back into your body and how much you released. So write it down and double check it at the end, because I think you'll be really surprised at how powerful you are.
Yes, I love that. We need that measurement to also see that it's working with any tool that we use or any practice. To notice the shift and the difference.
Because the idea too, if I'm working with you as my client, is that if you started out at an 8 and now you're at a 4, I want to ask you what that 4 is made up of. I want to know what's left for you and where we need to go next with this, because the idea is to get you at or as close to a 0 as we possibly can. One round of tapping, especially on money blocks, there's plenty of things where one round of tapping, I can get something done. Yeah. Money blocks is not one of those things.
Right.
So, a little more complex, but I would know where to go next and could really make some progress in 2 to 4 rounds.
That makes sense. So the 0 in this case is, so most people are used to the 1 to 10, 10 being the best.
Yeah. 10 would be the worst.
In this case, 0. Right. So
0
can
is
you
the goal.
Explain that, how the scale is
used. The same as your doctor uses. It's called a SUD scale, subjective units of distress. So we're measuring the negative thing.
Yeah,
and
got it.
It's just the opposite. I mean, some people actually do it the other way too. There's no right or wrong.
Right,
if you feel like 10's the best and you want to do it that way, feel free. If it's your own measurement system, it doesn't really matter. You just trying to measure what happened.
Yeah, I found that experience very relaxing. It felt very positive, very uplifting. It also brought to my awareness, because like I said, I feel like I have a very good relationship with money, but there's always room for improvement. And like I told you at the beginning, the truth is I do I have an upper limit. Yeah. So there is room to break through for all of us. And so it illuminated some of those pieces for me during the tapping process. So like you talked about raising your consciousness and your conscious awareness. It's it was illuminating little sparks of light is how I think about it, or how I felt about it. Just oh, wait, that over there. Okay. There's a little piece you need to investigate.
And in that open space that you just created, you can allow so much to come in. It might be an idea on how you can get through that next upper limit, or some awesome new business idea comes to you, or something that you've never thought of in a certain way before.
Yeah.
There's no one way that it's going to show up for anybody, but it will show up if you're opening, your consciousness to really receive the messages that are coming into you. It's also really important to hydrate. So make sure, because we're moving a lot of energy in the body, and it's kind of like, this should have been mentioned before too, but if you can hydrate before you do the tapping, the energy can move, release, unblock a lot easier. And if you hydrate and do it again, you may have an even better result. But dehydrated people do not unblock easily. So make sure you hydrate and you take care of that too. And just kind of notice and keep an eye out for those little pings and those little things that come through to you over the next few days. I love to receive emails when people do this, to just say what happened or what came up for them. So people, feel free to shoot me an email, Theresa at theresalearlevine.com. I love them. I answer them personally and I appreciate them.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, thank you. We'll dial up our awareness over the next few days or weeks to notice if something, and I will definitely reach out to you if I notice something.
Yeah, please. That'd be cool.
I'm sure we'll come. I it feels good. It feels very positive and feels very good. I appreciate that.